In this video lecture, we will examine the most efficient ways to create value via strategic positioning. The positioning options available to a firm are too numerous to count, and all of them take time and money to create as well as consume the firm's resources. Almost always each position someone comes up with will have some merit. However, it is impossible for a firm to achieve a favorable position in an unlimited number of categories. About 50 years ago, almost all the firms positioned on quality and price. Then we started to position on attributes or benefits to the consumer. From there, we moved to positioning on ways to use the product or service, and even started positioning the product or services based on who the user was or who the user represented in terms of lifestyle, personal image, and so on. From here, positioning options grew exponentially. Let's use a theme park as an example. As you can see, we can position our theme park in many ways, such as product positioning in terms of the fastest rides. And all of these positions make intuitive sense. So which position should we promote? Unfortunately, that list was not exhaustive. We can also differentiate a theme park numerous other ways, and then position our theme park based on those differentiations. In fact, all of these differentiation criteria can be applied to theme parks. For example, everybody wants to go to an affordable theme park. We also have subsets within each category of differentiation, such as personnel or branding or image and so on. To make matters worse, many firms attack multiple target markets with different positioning strategies. For example, a theme park like Disney has very different positions for parents versus teens versus toddlers, as well as locals versus long-distance travelers. As you can see, the options become overwhelming and all seem reasonable. So we now have an unsurmountable task. That is to successfully position our products and services for all those worthy concepts. Fortunately, to be profitable, we only have to be successfully positioned in about 1 to 3 concepts for our products and services for each of our target markets. In addition, sometimes these positions will be the same for multiple target markets. Another bonus is that most firms usually only go after a few target markets. This does not mean a firm should not attempt to do well in all these areas from an operational standpoint. It is always beneficial to give great service and have reliable products to maintain positive customer satisfaction levels and consumer loyalty, even if those are not your strategic positions. However, the promotional budget is primarily concerned with the position the company's key products or services occupy in the consumer's mind. Your first video quiz question is, should a firm ignore most of the positions available to them? Please choose one of the 4 answers below in the video in Canvas. For question number 1, you may pause or rewind the video if you so desire. The first steps in strategic positioning is to clearly identify 1 to 4 target markets. From here, we create a profile for each target market. The profile depicts identifiable characteristics of our target market, such as age, gender, lifestyle, relevant behavior patterns, etc. The profile helps identify the target market's needs that can be specifically met by our products and services, as well as how we should promote to each target. Of course, additional marketing research tools can help to further define the consumer's needs, the product fit, the ideal setting for an advertisement, as well as the optimal mediums for promotion. Once our ad is congruent with the target market's profile as well as their needs, we attempt to differentiate ourselves from the competition. Typically, we use a 2-dimensional positioning map with an X and Y axis to depict the differentiation. This perceptual map shows how some life insurance companies attempt to differentiate themselves via their promotional efforts by focusing on the concepts of protecting children as well as being a responsible parent. These are key concepts supporting the reasons for life insurance and as such are key positions in the insurance industry. However, not all life insurance firms vigorously pursue these positions, since there are many positions to choose from, and this space in the positioning map is very crowded, so some firms choose to go after other positions. To determine the best position for each target market, we have to take a step back and examine the competitive landscape. First, the differentiating factor must be significant to the consumer. Next, we must be able to clearly differentiate ourselves from the competition regarding this position. That is, the consumer's perceptual position of our product or service or brand in their mind as they compare us to the competition. This equation lays this concept out very nicely. That is, the more significant factor to the average consumer, as well as the farther we can differentiate ourselves on that factor from the competition, then the greater the value of our proposition. As we mentioned in the life insurance example, sometimes the most popular or most obvious positions are occupied by many competitors. True, we might be able to obtain the same perceptual space as our competitors, but is it worth it? More specifically, the more popular positions are often difficult to achieve, costly to maintain, and are crowded, and as such are undifferentiated. However, if we can identify unoccupied significant positions, then we can successfully occupy that position. Then we will have a much higher return on our promotional expenditures. Your second video quiz question is, what does factor significance mean in this equation? Factor significance, Fx, times distance from the competitor, dc, equals total value. Please choose one of the four answers below in the video in Canvas for question number 2. You may pause or rewind the video if you so desire. Your third video quiz question is, why do we sometimes avoid the most popular position? Please choose one of the four answers below in the video in Canvas for question number 3. You may pause or rewind the video if you so desire. This concludes this video lecture. Thank you for watching.